The subject of our adult forum today is a report about my sabbatical / leave of absence. I served in a residency program at United Hospital doing chaplaincy. And I really lost a sense of identity. I was gone for 9 months. Because as I was discussing with some friends this week, so much of church work, if you let it, becomes about programming. Getting the programming year going, getting the machine up and running, pushing paper, shifting units, creating widgets. And so you base your sense as an individual on how much are you producing. And I was put into a place where I had to ask the same question that you have to ask when you go into the hospital room or the homes of somebody who is ill or dying. What good am I? What value am I when I cannot put together programs for this person? I cannot shift units for this person. I cannot put on a worship service for this person. What does my presence mean in that room? And so, to some extent, I'd like to make this a discussion. I'll start with some introductory remarks telling you specifically the areas I was in. But I think one of the hardest things for anybody is when we get that news that somebody that we know, we care for, that we love, is ill, and we want to express that love, but we don't know what good we bring to the table. What is one more person showing up in the hospital room? What do I say? So it became a matter of intention. The focus was intention. What do you do when you walk into that hospital room? I'm not in there because I'm just an employee. I'm there because I'm a chaplain. And some people don't want chaplains. Some people really need chaplains. And there's people of all different traditions. That was actually one of the greatest gifts of the whole thing, was learning how to take my theological worldview and be able to just put that to the side and enter into their languaging, to put my perception of the hope or lack of hope in a situation they were in, engage where they were and support them at that time. Now, where I was assigned was the emergency room, which is not as exciting as it sounds. It's not a trauma. There's a word for it, but it's not where it's not Henry County emergency room. I was assigned to post-op, and for me, the greatest joy, I purposely asked to be placed in the mental health unit to work, and to work with inpatient mental health patients and outpatient, both adult and adolescent. Because for me, I look at us on any given Sunday, I look out in the audience, and I know that everybody's struggling with something. And I felt a great sense of gratitude to the congregation. I didn't know what was going to happen. I did not know that Heidi would be leaving us. I did not know that we were about to enter into a time of change-up. And you knew, most of you knew before me. And so to allow me to be gone during this time, I considered it a privilege. And I said to my supervisors, I said, I really need to bring something back. And for me, we're what's considered an affluent congregation materially, but material things don't protect us from troubles. We have our pains. Material things do not take away the sting of family problems. Material things do not take away the sting of illnesses. And so for me, I really wanted to work in the mental health unit because it was the closest, especially working with the day treatment patients. If you've ever had somebody, or if you've ever been in day treatment in a mental health unit, you see that any prejudice you may have about people seeking help for mental health issues will completely disappear. Because I would sit in that group and I would facilitate the outpatient groups, and they would go around and they would talk and they would say, and there was a very specific format. You know, this is how I feel today. This is the meals that I had in the past 24 hours. These are the meals that I had in the past 24 hours. Do I have thoughts of suicide? Can I contract for safety? What will I do to make it through this day? And they would go around the circle and would come to me, and the impulse would be to add to it. Because it's like, yes, this is the process that we all have to go through for ourselves. And I saw, wow, I'm sending these people off to their jobs now. And so that any context we're in is made of people who are dealing with suffering. And how do we best honor that? How do we walk into that? And as friends, and as relatives, as chaplains, as pastors, the greatest honor, and I think the holiest ground, is when we're invited into somebody's problems, or a sense of overwhelm, and are given an opportunity to affect their lives. And I think that's where we feel the least equipped. I don't want to project, but I've heard it from enough people.